Hello there, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Teacher MJ. Welcome to my class. This is your PE instructor, at the same time, your swimming instructor, Miss Mary Jane F. Pernites. And for this session, I am going to tackle about the three basic swimming skills. Well, we all know that there's a lot of basic swimming skills in swimming, particularly five of them were discussed during your obstruction last week. However, for time constraints, we're going to focus on the most, or shall we say, the top priority of swimming skills. And these are the three basic swimming skills that we're going to have for this session. Are you ready? Oh, yes. I know you're all excited. So now let's have review time first. Let me check if you really have read the obstruction last week. So let's play a game. This game is called Four Picks, One Word Game. So I'm going to show you four pictures and you have to guess what word or these pictures represent. Okay, so these are the first pictures. Okay, so I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. In three, two, one. All right, yes. All right, let's check if that is correct. Yes, that's the first skill that we're going to discuss later. That's breathing. Okay, what about these pictures? Three, two, one. Nice guess. Let me check if your guess is correct. Floating. Yeah, obviously we can see here types of float, right? The dead man's float, the tuck float, right? And the Superman float. What about this picture? Three, two, one. All right, and this is? Yes, you are right. It is kicking. So, in this session, you're going to learn the three basic swimming skills, and these are first, breathing, second, floating, and third is kicking. So, let's get started. So, let's have first. The first skill that we're going to learn today is breathing. So, what can you say on the picture? So, yeah. Okay, that's a man using his mouth, breathing in the water. So, according to Busria L. 2011, in one of his published books entitled Swimming and Water Survival, breathing is a frequently overlooked basic skill, but it is an important one. If you are not comfortable breathing while swimming, you won't be able to enjoy it completely and learn new things. The basic idea is that you need to breathe out with both your nose and mouth when your head is under water. Then, when you lift your head to the side, take a full breath before putting your face back down. So, what is the secret to breathing? The key to mastering breathing is to develop a feel for when water has cleared your mouth. Yes, you heard it right. Your mouth. So when you breathe in, you have to use your mouth. Why don't you use your nose? Yeah, because it will distract your concentration because there's high tendency that the water will get into your nose. You're going to use your nose, and that's the reason why we use nose clip. If you could still remember the last discussion, right? Nose clip is used to clip on your nose, and so you can focus on breathing from your mouth. Okay, and 3 steps to breathing. Develop a good feel for breathing during freestyle with our 3 easy steps. So this is commonly used in flow or freestyle. Now let's have the step number 1. Become familiar with the feeling of the movement without having to swim at the same time. So step one, we have to start from the very basic. Just have to put your right hand on the gutter and then become familiar with the feeling of the movement without having to swim at the same time. So you just have to familiarize your movement in the water. So hold the side of the pool, rotate your body and head, just like in the picture, out of the water, breathing. So you have to breathe using your mouth. Okay, and then right after you breathe, you have to blow your air out underwater. So all you have to do when your head comes down is take a breath in. Okay, so breathe out and then breathe in. Step two, become familiar with breathing while you are moving. So this time you're not going to hold in the water, guys. You have to try to move. So just like in the picture, it is a good idea to practice the next drills with fins. Remember this? This is one of the tools that we used in order for us to, what? Yes, in order for us to develop our kicking. This will make it easier to focus on breathing instead of struggling with the drill itself. Yes, so you just have to use that one in order for you not to be distracted on how fast you go with your kicking. You have to focus with your breathing first. Okay, so that's the reason why we use the fins. Okay, so make sure to blow your air out under water. If you can see here, guys, is using his mouth and his nose when he tried to blow out. Okay, kick on your sides and practice turning your head out for a breath. So you just have to move a little on your side and then lift your head on the side and breathe using your mouth. Okay, then when breathing starts to get easier, add in a body rotation each time you breathe. Alright, so that sounds easy, but I think when you apply that and it's your first time to do it, it's kind of hard. But yeah, you don't have to worry because everything really would start from feeling so hard, and later on your body will adjust and your mind as well. So as your mind will adjust, and it will definitely relax your body and you'll be able to perform the drill properly. And the last step, step 3, time to put it all together while swimming freestyle. So that's it. That's how you do the proper breathing, especially using the crawl or freestyle. Now let's watch in this short video here as to how we're going to apply these 3 steps. Okay, let's hang on real quick. Okay, and while we are waiting for it to load up,
The key to mastering breathing during freestyle is to develop a feel for when water has cleared your mouth after turning your head out. You then know when you can take air in. Develop a good feel for breathing during freestyle with our 3 easy steps. Step 1. We need to become familiar with the feeling of the movement without having to swim at the same time. Hold the side of the pool, rotate your body and head in and out of the water breathing. Blow your air out underwater, so all you have to do when your head comes out is take a breath in. Step 2. Become familiar with breathing while you are moving. It is a good idea to practice the next drills with fins. This will make it easier to focus on breathing instead of struggling with the drill itself. While kicking on your side, practice turning your head out for a breath. When breathing starts to get easier for you, add in a body rotation every time you breathe. Step 3. Time to put it all together while swimming freestyle. Practice until easy breathing becomes a habit.
Okay, so that is how you do proper breathing. So now let's proceed to our next skill to learn, and that is floating. So for floating, before you start kicking and stroking, first learn how to float first in the water. Floating helps you to get used to the habit of moving through water properly. Floating helps to keep your body on the surface of the water. Our body experiences a vertical buoyant force when immersed in water, and floating helps to keep your body in a horizontal position. So floating is important because if you accidentally fall in the water, you will be able to float on the surface till you are rescued. That is as per Mogul 2016. So very, very important that we should learn how to float, because you cannot just kick all the way, especially if it will take you like hours before you get rescued. So you really have to relax your body and reserve your energy. So in physical education, guys, we can also incorporate science. Okay, yeah, you heard it right, science in physical education, because the science of swimming is absolutely available here. So is it true that a higher percentage of body fat helps you float better? Well, let's check it out. With very few exceptions, everyone floats. Yes, you heard it right. Everyone floats. However, most people think they are that exception when in reality, 99.9% are not. It is the degree of flotation and how easy it is to float that is influenced by your body makeup. So, floating factors. What are the factors to consider? People usually float to varying degrees and in varying ways. The degree of buoyancy is dependent upon several factors. In humans, the predominant constituent matters are bone. So, your bone. So these are muscle fat, air in the lungs and other organs, and then your fluids, like for example, your blood. The proportions of these factors in an individual's physical makeup determine the specific gravity, the ability to float, and the characteristics of floating. There is considerable variation in these factors among individuals. So, fat to muscle tissue ratio. Generally speaking, the elderly, women, and persons who are not physically fit have a tendency to float better because they have a higher fat to muscle tissue ratio, even if they are very slim. Yes. Also, fully inflated lungs will enhance buoyancy tremendously. Fat has a specific gravity of less than 1.0 and floats in water, while both bone and muscle have a specific gravity of slightly more than 1.0. Thus, people with a high proportion of fat will float better. Yes, you've heard it right. So, while some individuals with very low fat levels, heavy bones, and high muscle mass will tend to float less well. The best way to ensure that you can float in water is to take swimming lessons, just like what you guys are doing now, where you will learn the techniques required to stay above water in all situations and without stress. So, stress, why is it being highlighted here? Stress. Guys, it's all in the mind, right? You float as what you have learned earlier in the previous slide, like 99.9%, we all can float. It's just that it's all in your mind that you really can't, and you are already, your mind is already telling your body to be nervous, and telling your body that you cannot do it. And so it goes along with your stiffness, and you cannot anymore relax, and you start feeling stressed. And that's actually one factor why most of us, or some of us, couldn't float that easy. So let's check it out, the video, as to how we can do water treading. So treading in the water, or water tread, is very important, especially if you cannot reach the floor level. So like for example, these are the things that you will, this is the particular skill that you have to develop whenever you are on a pool that is higher than your height, like for example 6 feet or 8 feet. Check it out.
Hi, this is Matthew from your personal swim coach again, and I'm going to explain you today how to do water treading in the water. This is a skill which is really important to master when you're in deep water and you want to be face out of the water and hope that you don't feel the waters around you. Water treading looks like this. In the water, you're moving your arms and legs, your hands stay above the water, and your legs pushing yourself up. It's like sitting in the water and moving your arms and legs to keep yourself up. How to do this?
Okay, so that's how you do water threading. And this time, let's check it out on the next video. So this video will show us how we float or we perform back float. Very, very important, especially when we are in a very critical situation.
Hi, this is Mandy from your personal swim coach. The next thing I'm gonna explain you is how to float in a relaxed way on your back. Actually, it's quite easy when you feel relaxed. Keep your shoulders low and just think about the relaxing idea. We're gonna do it today with some dumbbells. Arms are wide, shoulders in the water. We lift up to the ceiling and slowly slide down. And then relax up. We start up by bending our knees, looking at the toes, turning, and finding ground. That's how we perform it up.
Okay, and we are now moving to the last skill to be learned for this session, and that is kicking. Okay, so kicking is another important skill to learn if you want to master swimming. Kicking helps your body to move in the forward direction. Many swimming coaches use kickboards to support swimmers' body. That is as per Mogul of 2016. Now let's check it out. The first type of kicking is the flutter kick, and this flutter kick is being used during performing a what type of swimming is that?
The very best swimmers in the world will only generate approximately 10 to 15% of
Crawl or the freestyle. Okay, let's check it out.
the very best swimmers in the world will only generate approximately 10 to 15% of their speed from the kick. However, the flutter kick is a skill that is inseparable from your pull when swimming freestyle or any other stroke. An inefficient kick results in the legs and body to sink and makes a swimmer struggle to maintain a streamlined position. The flutter kick in freestyle has three important goals. First, it helps to lift your legs up towards the surface, decreasing your drag. Secondly, the kick functions as a stabilizer for your stroke. Your arms and upper body make big movements, causing the rest of the body to follow as well. A well-timed kick provides a counter movement that balances the body. The last function of the kick is a constant propulsion which, depending on your rhythm and power, can lead to more speed. How to do it? When performing the flutter kick, your legs and feet are moving up and down in a steady rhythm. The kick is driven from your hips, with the power transferring through your knee and ankle as your foot flicks out. Stretch out your legs as much as possible without locking your knees. Keep your ankle relaxed at the start of the kick. As you kick down, extend your foot and point your toes. To maintain streamline, keep your kick tight and compact by bending the knees slightly. Bending the knees too much will cause frontal drag and imbalance. The focus points. The kick is driven from the hips, but the propulsion is created by the feet. Bend the knees slightly and keep your ankle relaxed. Always point your toes when kicking and turn your feet in slightly to optimize propulsion. Your heels should break the water surface with every kick, making sure your feet are high up to the surface. Time your kick well and keep a constant rhythm. It may not be the favorite skill of many swimmers to practice, but training your kick will make it more effective. It allows you to use it efficiently during long distances or when speeding up. Watch all video drills about kicking at swimgym.com and start training like a pro.
Okay, so that's all about it. It's kicking. And yeah, let me just highlight as well this before we proceed to the scissor kick. Whenever we do flutter kick, there's like this so-called bicycle kick, which is the wrong kind of kicking where the swimmers or even not swimmer non-swimmers would absolutely say that they are having a hard time doing kicking because it's so tiring and it's kind of hurting their legs. And the reason as to why, it's because they're not doing the flutter kick properly. Instead of doing the flutter kick, which is more relaxed, they're using the bicycle kick where they are bending their knees so much, so that will really cause so much stress on your knees and in your toes. Okay, so let's now proceed to the next kind of kicking, which is the scissor kick swimming, a type of swimming kick used especially in the side stroke, in which one leg is moved forward and the other bent back, and they are then both together again in a scissor-like action. So with the word itself, scissor, so your feet or your kicking movement is like you are doing a scissor movement. Okay, so let's check out the video as to how it's being performed. So this kind of kick, guys, is commonly used during training. You could still recall the previous video where you were able to see how it's going, how we're going to perform the proper breathing exercise. The man there he's actually using a scissor kick when he's doing the side stroke. So that's actually how, or that's how it's being
Betul, relax. Tenang. Kembalikan pada posisi asal. Faham? Kembalikan posisi asal. Faham? Masa kita tarik ke belakang, ini kita ada rasa dia punya tampanan air. Tangan, potong. Tangan, potong. Tangan, potong. Tangan, potong.
at that, guys. It's like scissors, right? Okay, so that's all about it for the kicking scissor kick. Now let's proceed to the next one, dolphin kick. So this is a swimming kick used mainly in butterfly stroke, in which the legs are extended straight back and moved up and down in unison with a slight bend in the knees on the upward movement. So this is kind of hard because you really need to have a body coordination for this. With the name itself, it says dolphin kick, so you would like swim like a dolphin. So let's check it out how it's being performed. One moment. Oops. Let's see. Okay, let's check it out. So if you could still remember, right? Butterfly, the most difficult stroke in swimming.
Dolphin kick is hugely important in speed.
We're going to work on our dolphin kick now. We're going to go 50 on our left-hand side.
Dolphin kick is tricky. It's not a simple motion, and it requires certain tools, certain abilities to do well. You gotta think like a fish.
We really got to loosen up top, drive with the chest and drive with the head. Nice hyper streamlines.
You gotta pull those legs apart and you gotta push them down hard. How do we develop the dolphin kick? And one of the ways is by learning to use the vortex. What is the vortex?
Okay, so that is the dolphin kick. Now let's proceed to the frog kick. A frog kick is a swimming kick used in breaststroke in which the knees are drawn up close to the hips and the feet are thrust outward and backward so that the legs come together when fully extended. So, as what the name says, frog kick. So, I think you have seen frogs in the water, right? So, it's actually swimming like a frog using your leg movement. So, let's check it out as to how it goes. So, one moment here.
The stronger your kick technique, the more propulsion you will achieve, and the faster you'll be able to swim as a result. Flex your foot, pulling your toes towards your shins at the start of the kick, while keeping your heels as close to your bottom as possible. As your legs extend outwards and backwards, push the water backwards with the soles of your feet to accelerate and propel your body forwards. Point your toes at the end of the kick. As your legs straighten and your ankles come together, aim to get the soles of your feet to face each other as much as ankle flexibility will allow. To complete the recovery phase of the kick, bend your legs, keeping your knees as close together as possible while bringing your heels up towards your bottom. Keep your body relaxed as you move through the stroke. A kickboard can be used to help isolate your legs in order to focus on your kick technique.
Alright, so that's how it goes doing the frog kick. Okay, so let us now proceed to wrapping up. So I believe you guys have learned so much in this session. Let's wrap up what you guys have learned. So what's in it for me within time? So what's in it for you as a college student? So let's have the first question. What are the three important basic skills in swimming? Yes, these are the first is breathing. Second is, yes, that is floating. And the third is the kicking. Okay, so second question here, why is it important to master these three basic skills. We might be having different answers, but for me, as your swimming instructor, very important that we have to learn the basic skills, as this will be your foundation in the said skill or in the said area of swimming. So you cannot be a very good swimmer if you don't know the basic. So very important that you have to focus on the basic first before you go to the advanced swimming. Alright? So what about number three? How will you promote the skills that you have learned to your friends and families? Well, as your swimming instructor, I want to share this to you guys. Way back in college, um, after learning all the skills in swimming, I've shared it to any of my friends who doesn't know how to swim. Every time I'm in the water and they will tell me like I cannot swim, I don't know how to float. I always promote my skills because I don't want it to stop in myself. I want to share the skills learned because I am a very strong believer that when you share something to the others, you are also hastening or you're also improving your skill. Is as you are teaching or as you are transferring the skills, you are also learning more so how it's being properly performed. And that's a challenge to you, right? After you guys will be able to apply this, because you will apply this sooner or later, then that's the time that you can share it to your families and friends. And guess what? I was even very lucky and blessed because right after I learned this basic skills, I was able to conduct my own swimming lesson. And it's not for free. I actually used it as one of the source of income way back in college for me to buy my practicum uniform. Yes. So that's a challenge to you guys. Start with your family and friends, and then later on, who would not want to have an extra income, right? So you can be a swimming instructor like me. Okay. Now let's proceed to the application part. So this is kind of extra challenge to you. Now it's your turn to apply what you have learned from our discussion point today. You have to choose at least one skill from the three basic skills discussed in this session, and then have at least 3 to 5 minutes video tutorial on how your chosen swimming skill can be properly performed. So it can be in the water or out of the water. So if you have like the opportunity to be in the water, then that's definitely great. But if you cannot do it in the pool or in the sea or in the beach rather, then it's okay. You can actually perform it out in the water. So as long as you are doing the stroke and you can do the tutorial with 3 to 5 minutes video. Anyhow, you guys will be guided accordingly with the criteria. I will be sending the guidelines and criteria in our group chat. Okay? So that's it. That's all about it. And I hope you guys have learned so much today in this session. And I'm looking forward to be seeing all of your videos, your outputs to be sent via Google form. I'll be sending that one to you guys, and all you need to do is just to copy and paste your links so I will be able to grade your output or your performance task individually. All right, so I am so excited to see those outputs, guys. I challenge you, you can do it. Okay? Yes, you can. So again, thank you so much for listening to my presentation. For any questions, feel free to send me a private message in my messenger, or you may also do it in the Google form attendance. On the last part, I'm actually having there like a space for questions so that I'll be able to address it properly. So again, this is your teacher MJ. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well, and share this one to your family and friends.